Okay, we're recording. Um, my name is Nick Johnson, and I'm coaching TJ
Yep, TJ Walters.
for Com 375 coaching assignment. So, what are your goals or hopes for this session?
So primarily I'm looking for structure of how I tell my story today, see if I have the energy to do this. I have a lot of problem with meandering and pacing a lot when I get nervous, so I don't want to I want to move deliberately. So my point today is to stop meandering in the story, get to the point, you know, uh, walk with purpose, you know, and mostly just make sure that the story makes sense in the way that it does. Do I get to the point and see if I can make a point with that the audiences can take away, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to hearing it.
Yeah, me too. I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes. Okay. We got our devices all set. Everything was done beforehand. We're all prepped pretty much. I'll start on your ready.
All right, let me just write this down.
No problem.
All right.
All right. So, how many of you have been in a place where you really regret what you've done? Like something that you've done before that you've regretted? Great. This is one of those moments. This for me is my mother's wedding. I just gotten my wisdom teeth removed, and it was pretty awful. I was also on Accutane, which is why my lips are all chapped and broken and stuff like that. And they took this picture of me. I wasn't happy about it at the time when I saw it, and they used it in the footage from my mom's wedding when they put it on a tape. I wasn't really happy about it at all. But it actually was one of the uh, uh, funniest moments of my life. You know, it became one of those special experiences. Because when this was taken, I didn't even realize that this was taken. Somebody just took it of me while I was sitting there getting ready to eat after the party. So I have a lot of moments in life like this, like when I dyed my hair blonde for the first time. Some people said that was a questionable choice, and I got endlessly teased for it. But you know what? I actually really loved doing the process of dyeing my hair and going through this. So, what I'm really here to talk about to you, what's going on here is I had just hung out with one of my best friends, and we dyed my hair for the first time, and it was a trip. It burned. It was funny. He messed up the dye, and it was crazy. But it made the experience. But I was really unsure about doing the dye. I was really unsure. I was like, I've never done it before. I was a little nervous about it. But it turned out to be one of the best experiences I've ever had. So, how do you make a decision? How do we think about decisions? You know, in our culture, decision making is really negative. It's perceived as super negative. We have like thousands of idioms saying tough choices. The language we use around decision making is really, really negative. And like we always talk about decisions making as being tough or hard or you only have two ways. The ultimate identity of a decision is like two paths, like a crossroads. And it's an ultimatum, a life-changing event. Wow. Even there, you know, picking up the remote, I could have moved on right past it. That was a decision. We make decisions every single day. So the point is, how do we make the best decisions? Or is every decision the best one? Decision making is scary. as they tell us. And it can be, especially when you don't know the outcome, which is the thing. We always have this mindset that we're going into something unknown. Or even if we know the consequences, that makes it all the worse because we're doing all these things inside our head trying to make a decision and playing it out. But the reality is that decision making isn't something that you just do mindlessly or that you're going to know everything about. You know, you're not going to have the worst consequence. That right there is one of my favorite images of all time, by the way. So yeah, Samus with the Metroid on her head. Yeah, brain controlling device. Pretty cool. I actually love that. So, like I said, choices are like a two-way street. And in this one, when you know, you're screwed either way. This is the identity that we all take with choices. So, this right here is my brother. This is me. I'm the older of the two. Me and my brother had the best relationship growing up as kids. You know, very close. He was like my best friend as a kid. We did everything together, including play inside the cabinets and stuff. You know, we ate the same cereal, he used the same bowl, I used to grab his blankie and all this stuff. And we used to be really close, right? But when he started going to school, everything kind of changed for him. He started to act less like me or changed, you know. He didn't like me so much when I got older. Our relationship kind of dwindled as he went to school because I was uncool. And eventually he started calling me stupid for the decisions that I made, which made me really self-conscious about choices. I truly believed that I was incapable of making good choices, which a lot of people may have experienced, some people in here may not have. When we make choices, there are a number of things that go into them. The hard part about making choices is whether to identify whether it's a smart move or not. Everybody wants to make a smart decision, as they say. But we often don't make decisions just based off of how smart they're going to be perceived. We make decisions off how we feel, the situation at the time, and who it's going to affect. And some people make different decisions based on different things. Some people make decisions off of feelings of others. They are considerate to other people more than they are themselves. Whereas other people, like this chess player, are making strategic decisions. You know, when we make decisions, we have to add in a number of different things. My brother and I never really got along as kids, but as I got older, we made a decision to get along better. And the same applies to my best friend. This is my best friend, Caleb, and this is me, and this is, I don't even know, bookstore day? I can't even remember. But Caleb has been my best friend since for like 25 years of my life. For a long time, obviously. And during high school, I openly told him that I was gay. And it was the first time. And that I had feelings for him. And I was really scared about this. But I knew I had to go through with it. I couldn't harbor the feelings away. I made that decision. He did not reciprocate my feelings, but he accepted them, supported me, and we moved past my feelings and became even better friends. It was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. I've never found more of a supportive person than my best friend. And to this day, even though he's in Cincinnati right now, you know, we still talk every day about both of our feelings. And he has a fiance now, and I'm his best man for that. And it was one of those magical moments of relief. Everybody knows, or a lot of people who know me and my friends tell me I'm a super nerd. This is a game called Heavy Rain. I played it. It's a pretty decent game. It's got a little bit of graphical issues and stuff, but one of the most charming things about video games, one of the things that I love about them the most, is choice. Here you can see you have reject or forgive, right? Two different play styles, two different choices that lead to very different gaming experiences. That is what a choice can do. This here can make or break the game for you. And I've heard a lot of people say that a video game's choices make the video game experience. And that's what a good decision does. It makes the experience for you. A decision can make your life better. You know what kind of decisions are made while drunk. The best kind. My best friend comes back to mind because we play video games and get drunk together. Again, one of the best people in my life. And when we get drunk, he's the only person I get drunk with. But it's always the best time. Always the best decision to get drunk with my best friend. We've never done anything inappropriate, but we've done some crazy stuff. And those are just some of the best, most fun times of my life, the ones that I take the most memories from. You know, they create some of the best experiences. So the other thing I do with my friends that leads to better decision making, or in my opinion, that shows how decision making is the best, or can make the experience for you. The door before you is locked and you see no way around it. What will you do? This is a GM, or a game master, or a dungeon master if you're playing D&D. And he's playing D&D, Roll20. So in D&D, it's a play your own kind of adventure. And sorry, I just lost myself there. It's a play yourself, it's a make your own adventure kind of game. So every option that's available to you is an option. So it's really based on your own experience and what decisions you make as a person. What do you want your character to do? What do you want to do? You know? And some of the best experiences in my life are because of the choices not only that I made, but because other people made. And it made this entirely new, close-fitting experience. One that I really felt enthused with. Currently, I'm playing a game in Shadowrun called Shadowrun that is just full of decisions. I have a very, I have an elf who is very highly innuendo and sexual favors and all kinds of stuff. And she is one of my favorite characters I've ever played as because I'm not all about sexual innuendos, so I was really uncomfortable at the beginning of the game. But I got really comfortable with it, and my character was just the funniest. She's the most ruthless out of them, and it created this whole new side of me that I never knew before. And that's what decisions can do for you. They can open up new avenues to yourself that you never explored. This is my mom and dad. My mom is the key person in this picture for me right now when it comes to decision making. My mom has always supported everything that I've ever done, but I was really scared about coming out to her as gay, as being bisexual. And it was really tough. I worried about it. I told my best friend in high school, for God's sake, but I hadn't told my mom, even in the beginnings of my college. I'd waited so long, even though I knew. And the question was, how do I say it? She's Catholic. What do I do? Will she still care for me? Will she give me the things that I need to keep going? Will she kick me out of the family? My family is my mom's side of the family is very Catholic conservative, and I was really intimidated by the consequences if I opened up and she didn't react in a good way. But I decided it was for the best, and I openly told my mom that I was gay, and it led to this whole new experience, right? But this is what it comes down to in that moment for me. Right before I told my mom the decision, I sat down with her at a table, and I was sweating. And I don't sweat very often unless I'm very, very nervous. I have to be extremely nervous to sweat. The oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear, and the oldest and strongest kind of fear is the fear of the unknown. Now, who said this quote is one of the worst and my favorite authors of all time, H.P. Lovecraft, hence the tentacles and coming out of the brain, very Cthulhu-like.
Isn't that the guy who did the Scientology?
No, I think that's Not Orwell. No, it could have been Orwell.
Oh,
I can't remember. It's one of them.
I didn't mean to interject.
No, you're fine. But yeah, the fear of the unknown, right? The strongest fear is the fear of the unknown. And I really related to this because in this scene, I didn't know what my mom was going to say to me, and I was really intimidated. But in the end, I was relieved. You know, also one of my favorite animes, by the way. But
What anime is it?
it's called Shigeki no Soma, and it's about a food cooking battle show, which is anime, and it's really awesome. It's really cute, and I love it a lot. But this is one of the main characters, and it has some of the best reaction faces. So in this is a relieved Megumi. This is what my heart was doing when my mom told me that she openly. She's like, I knew. I was just waiting for you to say it, you know. And I did, and it was one of the best experiences of all time. This is also my relief, like, wow, I didn't realize it was going to play that badly up here, so I'm going to have to change that. But anyway, that's the relief I was feeling. Thank God is the title of that. Going back to my brother. I had a lot of struggle with my childhood, especially because of my brother, who I deeply love even now, but he led to a lot of my insecurity, a lot of decisions I didn't make, and I wish I did, because I thought it was stupid, because I thought the only good decision was a smart one, you know, and I never made bad decisions. I never made decisions that I got to experience. I never made, I never did anything that went outside my comfort zone and found a new thing until I started building a relationship with my brother, who I also say one of the reasons why I was so afraid of coming out to my mom was that he constantly called me gay. You know, he constantly made me fear being gay. You know, and I love my brother, but he's a mean-spirited person sometimes, especially when he was younger and he didn't know how to process things. So the only way he could deal with things was to kick me down. So that comes back to, you know, my brother and I made the decision that I wanted to get past all of that. I wanted to get over this for myself. I needed to have something with him so that I could move past the person who couldn't do anything for himself. And to move past the idea that I only had to make smart decisions. And I did. And now my brother is one of the best people in my life. Like, he felt bad for things that he had said. And he hated the fact that I had insecurity. Even now, I still have some level of insecurity because of the things that happened then. But it's far less significant because I made the decision to work with him. And that led to beautiful new experiences. Kind of like these colorful cupcakes. And these beautiful experiences led me to do things, even if people considered them dumb. If they were fun, they were fun, you know? And one of the things that we like to do when we make decisions, or I say, one of the things that we should do as a new experience is go to new places, new horizons, you know? Explore yourself, make those terrible but fun decisions, you know? Get drunk every once in a while and just have a good time, because those are the experiences, those are the decisions that make you a better person. I want all of our options on the table so I can knock them all off again. And that's where I am today. How long did that run for?
I would say we're at 19 minutes right now, so it probably ran for probably like 17.
17? That sounds right.
How long does this have to be?
5 to 8. I gotta cut like 10 minutes of that. See what I mean by meander?
Yeah. I wrote down your goals and hopes were to get to the point and to be purposeful and logical. Well, it made sense. So, in the general feedback area, I I really liked how personal you made it. I thought that you had a strong story and emotional appeal, and it really got me to feel for you. And it made it seem purposeful. Um, I also liked the chess picture because it's like a decision-making game. I just thought that was fun, and that I also liked the anime picture because it made it even more personal. So, and what I got from your um, presentation, your big talk, is that decisions make and shape our experiences. Is that like what you're aiming for?
Yes, that's exactly where I was
Okay,
going.
so on your purpose, I think you're conveying your point well. You just should have to work on being more concise and not meandering as much. And also, I think your opening, the wedding, I wasn't really sure the connection with that to the decision. I think the blonde hair thing, you could just use that as your opening. Maybe that would help cut some time. And I noticed you asked a question at the beginning, like who all here has, I forgot what you said, but
Made a decision that they regret.
yeah, that. When I did my Pachakacha, I said, "Who here likes meats?" And then she wrote on the feedback that that opening like style of opening is a little weak. So I would maybe considering like um,
Just starting off with like a story.
yeah, just the story maybe. See what else I wrote.
No question.
Or maybe you can just like phrase it into like we've all been in these situations before. Because I can guarantee everyone has made a decision they've regretted. Or even the lack of a decision. That doesn't make sense. Decision is either one way or another. Okay, so
Or a decision we didn't make at all.
yeah, that's what I was going for.
Yeah. When we could have done something, but we didn't do it.
I have a lot of those that I regret. Yeah, I think you really did a good job of connecting with the emotional appeal and stuff. So yeah, you could definitely use some timing practice, but it's just the first run through. So I think you did pretty well. All right,
All right.
that concludes, I think, our general feedback area. Do you have anything you want to say?
I agree with everything that you touched on, especially because my opening did feel weak. I
Mhm.
felt that too. I'm definitely gonna have to reorder around some of my slides and stuff because I noticed that I was caught off guard by some of my slides.
Yeah.
You know, like they just they didn't fit. You know, um, and I felt like as much as I use them, and I do use them, and I'm good at using them as an aid, they kept me from uh, being like concise because I was always trying to form my stuff around it. Not really like around it, but more on like I don't know how I want to kind of like frame this right now.
What's Raccoon City? Is that from Resident Evil?
No,
I know Silent Hill is Silent Hill.
I think that Raccoon City is
Like
from
another.
Resident Evil. I think that's right. I think you're right. I can't remember. It's another horror aspect game. again, showing my nerd quality.
Yeah.
What is Raccoon City? Let me just look that up real quick. I know this is a bit off topic, but yeah, it's from Resident Evil.
Okay.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out. What do you think the strongest points in my presentation were? I mean, like parts of the presentation, like considering where the slides are.
I thought it flowed nice because when you were speaking through it, like all the slides made sense with what you were saying at the time. And I really enjoyed that story you gave about coming out to your friend and to your mom.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Because even though I may never be in that position, I can put myself in a similar position with something hard to tell someone. Like, oh, I failed a class and I have to take a whole nother semester of college because of it. And it was because of that decision that I made to not be reckless and just think of this. So I think that was a really strong point.
All right. Appreciate that.
No problem. Is there any we're at 27 minutes right now.
We need to do line by line.
Yeah, we got to do a line by line. Is there any specific part that you think that you could improve on?
Yeah, I really want. There's a part here where I was talking about the gaming experience, and where the game. Well, I was talking about the gaming experience, but let me move this up here too. Whereas talking about like the D&D and the gaming experience, but I was having trouble connecting them.
Yeah.
This slide here, I completely messed that up because I had something else I wanted to say there, and I just remembered what I wanted to say there, and I completely spaced it, so I just moved past it, and I really want to get that down.
Do you want to give it a try?
Yeah, I'm gonna give. I wanna kind of do. Do you think we could do like these three again?
Yeah, we can.
Because these are, I think you're right about the chessboard. I moved this down to talk about the bad decisions kind of after or not the smart ones, just doing the ones that are fun. So that works there a little bit. Talk about how scary decision making is here in the middle, and then start talking about my brother and where that fear for me comes from, and then how the choices are, where I felt like I was screwed either way because of my brother. Include that earlier on, so when I can come back and revisit my brother, that makes more sense later on when I talk about how we reconnected and stuff, and that'll come after my mom's stuff, because I feel like it flows nicer that way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna definitely do the gaming stuff with my best friend up here, but I think I might move that up because no, I'll keep that down there because it makes more sense there. But I'll talk about video games and experiences with them and how they maybe move past. But this is where I'll end up on. But yeah, these three right here is where I struggled the most with because I feel like the beginning is hard for me. most like I know that I had an issue starting off, at the beginning. So maybe we should just start there and then move here after that. So start at the beginning because that's where I struggled the most with.
Okay, you can start, and if I wanna I feel like I can improve on a line, I'll stop you.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. All right. So we've all made decisions that we regretted before, or maybe we've had a decision that we didn't take, the ones that we left behind that we regretted. Some of the best kinds of decisions are the ones we do while we're drunk, as this meme will tell you. And really, I'm here to talk about. See, I'm stuck here. How do I move from here to here?
Yeah, so, the second slide, you're gonna talk about,
Decisions,
yeah,
like the idea of decisions. What like the stigma. Maybe throw in a couple idioms in there.
okay, yeah, so maybe you could say in the opening, it's a part of human existence that we experience decisions that we regret. You can't avoid it, or even the lack of decision making has gotten the best of us. So, what are the implications of these decisions? And we're going to explore that today. How decisions make and shape our experiences as humans. Maybe something along those lines. And then something like, the best decisions come even when we're inebriated.
All right, let's start from the top then. We've all made decisions that we regret, and or maybe we've made a decision that we didn't take. We didn't make a decision at all, and we regret that. The human experience is all about decision making, and we make decisions every single day, every single moment. To the moment we get out of bed, whether we're going to get out of bed at all, what time we're going to get out of bed, whether we're going to turn off the alarm, what we're going to wear that day, what we're going to have for breakfast, if we're going to have breakfast at all. We make decisions every moment of our day. But decision making has this really negative connotation to it. And, I think that decision making gets a bad rap, we shouldn't be so negative about decision making. I really like this meme because me and my best friend get drunk all the time, and some of the best decisions were made when we were drunk. Some of the most memorable moments were made when he was drunk and while I watched, or when I was drunk and he watched me. So obviously, some of the best decisions are when you're drunk, and I love this meme for that. So let's talk about how our society views decision making, right? We talk about decisions as if they're the hardest thing in the world to make. They're tough, they're hard, they're difficult. Nobody wants to make a difficult decision. Nobody wants to make it. Comes with all this responsibility. We're always thinking about the consequences of our actions, and decision making is ultimately do or die. When people think of decisions, I often think to myself that people think in like ultimatums, that it's either this way or that way, a crossroads of sorts, And decision making isn't that. It doesn't have to be, because we often experience the worst in our decisions and oftentimes think of the worst decisions we've ever made when we really shouldn't. Or we think about all the times we didn't make a decision. And again, thinking about the negative here, when we should really be thinking about this has the possibility of being the best thing that ever happens to me. And that's really the point of decision making. When we eat food, I love food, right? But we make decisions based off of our feelings, what we're craving, what sounds good. Man, I could go for a soda right now so hard. So I don't know about anybody else here, but these cupcakes look delicious. Delicious, sorry. Just
You're
thinking
good.
about the cupcakes. I was just thinking about how delicious they were.
And lunch, yeah.
And lunch, you're right. So, but yeah, when we make decisions, we have to make them because they're fun, or they're enjoyable, or they're something we want to experience. And we often don't think about those experiences, that we make decisions off of those reasons. And food is one of the best ones, right? So, continuing on, I love video games and playing games in general. I'm a super nerd, as you'll come to find out through this presentation. And my friends know that I'm a super nerd. This right here is a GM, or Dungeon Master, or Game Master, someone who leads a game, a fantasy game or something that's not real. But the best part about fantasy games is the agency, the choice that you have. Because the game is literally made of people making choices. And so is that experience. So it's the DM and you participating and making choices. I play a Shadowrun game that is really enjoyable. I play an elf. She's a mage. She's kind of a seductress. And I never went down that avenue before. And it was so fun. I never tried. I'm not really a sexual innuendo kind of person. Nor do I usually play the cold BA woman of the group. But when I played that, I found a whole new side of me that I really enjoyed doing. And that's what makes a decision, right? I decided to make that character knowing that I might be uncomfortable with it. But in the end, it turned out to be one of the best decisions I've ever made, and everybody loves my character, including the Dungeon Master. And, you know, we often think that we make dumb decisions, right? That we're always thinking about, I didn't think about that, or I made a dumb move, or that was stupid of me. You know, when we make decisions, this is the kind of dialogue that I often hear when people say, I made a mistake. Well, why does it have to be a mistake always? Why can't it be one of the best decisions you made, even though it was a mistake? You know, you made that choice because you thought the experience could be better. And that's what we always have to think when we make decisions, right? We don't have to be the chess master. We are always thinking about how to plot the best decision, you know, and move the piece in the next spot. But, you know, you don't. You don't have to be the one to make smart decisions. I dyed my hair blonde, and my friends teased me for it. Not the smartest decision, but definitely one of the funnest. Me and my best friend dyed my hair, and even though it burned, we were joking about it the whole time. It was a whole new experience for me, and one of the best I've ever made in my life. I would have never had that experience with my best friend, nor would I when I went through the teasing phase with my friends, and nor would they have content to blackmail me with all the time. So they think it's one of the best decisions I've ever made. So, and that made my experience all the better because my friends made light of it. And that's what, you know, you should do too. Are you gonna add in here?
No.
We often talk about decisions, like I said, as something scary, or something bad, or something that has the possibility of going wrong. And what we're really afraid of is the fear of the unknown, right? We don't know which door to go. We don't know what's on the other side of that door. And it can be a scary event. And nobody is saying that you shouldn't be scared, but you shouldn't let that fear control you. You should be cautious when you make a decision, not go through with it. Being cautious and being open are two sides of the same coin. You have to be open to the possibility of something turning out really great if you make a decision. But you also have to be cautious about the decisions you make. I'm not saying when it comes down to making an important decision in your life, just to forgo all the thoughts of making a decision, and go with it. Don't be the yes man is not what I'm saying here is you don't have to be a yes man. You just have to be open to the experience, right?
Okay, can I stop you on that backslide?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna do modeling.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that you have really good tone and pitch in your voice, and when you make certain points, you really convey that with your voice well. And but right here, I think the fear is very it could be strong, it could be a strong part in your presentation. And I know that I have problems with my tone because I'm kind of monotone when I give presentations. But I think you said you could really capitalize on that fear of the unknown, and not saying I think you said don't be a yes man, and that's not what I'm trying to get at. I think you could just leave that out.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you could say the fear of the unknown is ultimate part of the decision making, and I think you should leave a dramatic pause for a second, because I noticed you said a right, how to write. You probably didn't mean to do that, but I think you should just keep it cut that off and make it strong, and then leave a momentary pause, and then continue on with your points. I think that would be really powerful in such a heavy area, I would say, because there's all these things you could do, and you want to do the right thing. So I think that would help.
Okay.
I just want to get up here and
Yeah.
show you.
Yeah. No, that really is helpful because that actually does seem like something that we could do. So let me give that a try. So
Okay.
So when we think about decisions, one of the things that comes into play is that we often think about, like I said, that we make stupid decisions, and there's this real fear that comes with making decisions. A fear of not knowing what's going to happen. And I'm not saying that you have to be, a yes man. You don't have to say yes to every decision. But you do have to be open and cautious to an experience. Cautious for the things that might happen that you don't want, and open for the things that you do want. And maybe a little open to the things that you didn't see coming. Let it be a surprise, Be excited for it, not just scared.
Yeah, I like that. I think that was more powerful.
All right. I like that. So, where my fear stems from, for me, is my brother. My brother was the one who ridiculed me as a kid growing up quite a bit. Called me stupid, called me dumb, call me gay a lot of the times. I have a lot of feminine qualities, obviously. I like to talk. I'm a nerd. So I make a lot of, to him, questionable decisions. Decisions he wouldn't make. Despite our background, we grew up really, really close to one another. And it wasn't until school when a bunch of other kids told me that I was making bad decisions, that I was too much like a girl, or that I made stupid decisions, and that people constantly called me stupid, did my brother take up those titles and start doing it himself so that he could fit in. What this ended up doing to our relationship is really hurt us. We split apart a lot as kids, and as I went into being a high schooler, and for a good portion of my college experience as well, we kind of drifted apart. And it was because my brother and I had a very similar experience and background, but a very different schooling experience that split us apart, right up down the middle. And it was based on his and my decision making. We have very different experience basis on our decisions, to the point where people didn't even recognize us as brothers. You know, I often felt that I was screwed no matter what happened. I said I had the worst luck in the world, right? Or I couldn't make a good choice. I ended up helping people and hurting myself and forgetting about myself because I didn't think that I was worth it. These experiences led to worse experiences. I hated who I was in college. In the first couple years of my college experience, I hated who I was. I didn't know what I was doing. And eventually I had an identity crisis. But I remembered I moved out of that identity crisis and I made a decision right then and there that I was going to change and become a better person. Back in high school, I made a decision to tell my best friend that I was gay, that I was bisexual, and that I had feelings for him. It was one of the scariest things that I had ever done. And I openly came out to him and confessed my love. He didn't reciprocate my feelings, but he supported me through them. And we became better friends for that moment. We became best friends. He now has a fiance, and I'm going to be his best man. And I have a lot of great experiences with my best friend. And I'm so glad I made that decision to tell him the honest to God truth, because we still talk every day, even though he's in Cincinnati. We love playing video games together, me and my best friend. And I think ultimately the reason why is because it offered us choice. I am a nerd, and I love choices. Because in video games, one of the best parts about them is that you create your experience. So every decision can create a new and better experience.
I think you should tie that into life too, because you create your own experiences in life.
All right, cool. I will do that now. Thank you very much. So, one of the things me and my best friend love to do is play video games. And the reason why we love playing video games is because we have choice. And video games are one of the best things because of choice. They can make a decision, they can make a gaming experience. Making a decision here can make the game. And this can be applied to life too. Making a great choice or making a choice entirely can lead to a whole new avenue of experiences. And some of those experiences are bound to be great. Almost all of them could be great, and every single one of them is great in some way. And that's true about video games too. Every experience that I've had playing a video game where I made a choice, I actually love the choice that I made, because it also shows a reflection of yourself, something else, a part of you. So we come back to my roots again, and I'm going to talk about my mom. My mom is the most supportive person in my life. She supported every single decision I made, but I was really scared to tell her that I was bisexual, just like my best friend. And in fact, I waited even longer to tell my mom. And it was really tough because I was scared. I was really, really scared. My mom comes from a very Catholic family, traditional Catholic, very Catholic. And I was scared to tell her the truth. But once I finally opened up, and I did it, we sat down at the dinner table, and I expressed that I was gay. And I just remember feeling that fear of the unknown. This is actually a quote from H.P. Lovecraft, a nerd book author who writes really dark fantasy stories. Don't read them if you don't like dark stuff. But the oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear. And the oldest and strongest kind of fear is the fear of the unknown. And I touched on this earlier, but this is what we fear the most when we make a decision. And in that moment, that's what I was scared of. My mom could have kicked me out of the family. My mom could have disowned me. She could have hated me. She could have. Oh, she could have. But she didn't. It leads to one of my favorite pictures of all time. It's from an anime called Shingeki no Soma. And this is Megumin. She's one of the main characters. And that's relief. That's what I felt. Immense relief. That she accepted this whole new part of me that I had never expressed before. And you know what she said? I knew. I was just waiting for you to tell me. And that led to us going to Pride together with my best friend and having this community of support that I never knew I could have had I never opened up, had I never made the decision to let them in. Which comes back to my brother. Where a lot of my fear stems from, as I said, is not just the unknown, but knowing that I would be judged by my decisions, like my brother. But I made a decision that I wanted to get over that. During that identity crisis period, I went and sought out my brother and confronted him about the things that I felt. And my brother apologized, one, and two, decided he was going to help me find the things that I liked, do the things that we wanted to do together. And we built a friendship. Someone who I was close to when I was young, and then we split apart, and now we're close again. And I really feel that connection. And I see him. I just talked to him just yesterday, and I'm really grateful for that. I would have never had the experience that I have, the closest relationship to my brother that I have now, had I not made the decision to go and seek him out for help. And that leads us to my final couple points here. Decision making can lead to better experiences. They can open up new parts of you, and they can take you to new horizons. You can experience a whole new world and a whole new part of yourself. And every decision can be the best. Which leads to this final line and meme that I absolutely love. I want all of our options on the table so that I can knock them off again. Meaning, take every decision as they are. Make them into the best things, and then throw them on the ground again. You don't have to make a decision smartly. It could be a dumb, fun decision. But just make a decision. And look at it in the most positive way you can. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
How'd you feel about the second run through?
Oh, it's so much better. So much better. 100% better.
Okay, I agree. I liked it too. So, like I said before, I really liked the good personalization you have with your pictures. And I really liked the emotional appeal that you put into your story, into your big talk. And I think you have a really good tone and inflection in your voice. So yeah, those are some good things I enjoyed about your presentation. Moving forward from here with the plan, I think that you have a good presentation on your hands and that you can, with a little fine tuning, you can definitely improve upon it and have a great presentation. So, like you did before, after the first one, I think you should play around with the order of it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think implementing, like writing a script would help you because it would help you from meandering and
rambling on points, and it could help you get your time down once you practice those. And I also think maybe trying new openings and playing around with the lines of the opening and seeing which one that feels right. And once that happens, you could write that in the script as well. I thought the blonde hair picture was better at the beginning than it was in the middle, a little bit. It made it more memorable when it was at the beginning, I feel like. So maybe, yeah, just playing around with order and writing the script I think we could, that should be your game plan from here on out.
That sounds good.
Hopefully my advice is helping.
Oh no, it's been absolutely brilliant. I really appreciate it, Nick. I couldn't have done it without you, man. I really couldn't have. So, I think we're all good.
Yep, that concludes our session.
Yep, thank you very much.